And very important aspect, because we're talking about doing research with other
Mhm.
things. How do you actually differentiate user research and market research? Drama question, but still required.
Yeah, so I try and keep it very simple, right? Uh, what happened and when it happened, both of these kind of questions you can do it using market research. Right? You can send a questionnaire, what happened, when it happened, something very specific that you can articulate and tell it. So there is a single source of truth that everybody could understand. It can be quantified and all of those things. Right? Why it happened and how it happened is something you need to do qualitative analysis. Right? So you need to go further, ask stories behind it. Right? So let's say, for example, we were recently looking into the Design Up survey, right? So I had a sneak peek of the research report in UX Now that Jaydat had presented, right? So there were a lot of interesting insights that had come out, right? So for example, 50% of the people who kind of were doing who were doing designs in masters came from engineering, right? So then that what happened. Now the question of why it happened, that survey cannot answer. No, you need to go and talk to some people who were engineers who turned into designers and ask them, right? I mean, of course, you could have some sort of an assumption, but but you'll have to ask them, right? So other 50% of the engineers who were in design did not do masters, right? So now you'll have to look at, say, the timeline also. At least if I am a researcher looking at this particular data set, right? Saying that 50% of the people did masters and then they are designers. 50% of the people did not do masters, but they are designers, right? Now the second question I want to ask as a researcher is, what is the age? What is the timeline? Right? So if the timeline says that people who were before 2011 or let's say 2010, where before all this the breaking of the Flipkart and all of this e-commerce internet companies coming into picture, before that the entire concept of a UI UX designer did not exist, right? But there probably the only option was where you had to go and do an NIT degree and everybody went behind that, right? Because there was just only a bunch of companies who were hiring, right? So all these people who are now being in design without doing a degree, now we need to look at their age, right? Are they like post 2015? Are they post your housing period? Are they post or your Flipkart period, where design has already become mainstream, and now the requirement for designers is so high that you don't really need a traditional like a learned background, but they learn it over the job, right? But these are again my hypothesis, right? But to validate it, I will have to go and talk to them, right? So I think that's the difference between market research and qualitative research.
That's actually well put.